It may seem paradoxical that the same company who claims to know how to build artificial general intelligence are unable to come up with a naming scheme that makes sense for the average user. That, however, is the situation that OpenAI finds itself in right now. In this video, I will propose a new naming scheme that fixes this mess, and I will also provide you with useful information if you happen to be responsible for naming a product. But before doing this, let's take a step back to understand how OpenAI got into this situation to begin with. In 2018, OpenAI presented a paper called Improving Language Understanding by Generative Pre-training, in which they introduced GPT. Just a year later, they followed this model up with its first update, which they called GPT-2. Following GPT-2, we got GPT-3, GPT 3.5 and then GPT-4. At this point, everyone expected OpenAI to launch GPT 4.5, including Joe Rogan.
GPT is on what, 4.5 now? 4.
But instead of following this trend, OpenAI named the next model GPT-4o. That is, if you don't count GPT-4 Turbo, GPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT 3.5 Turbo Instruct. OpenAI apparently decided to call the model GPT-4o because they wanted to signify that the model is now multimodal. Why not call it GPT-4 multimodal then? Maybe because they thought that Omni sounded better, which is what the O stands for in 4o. They also introduced a smaller version of this model called GPT-4o Mini. If you are a developer, you may also have encountered flavors of this model, such as GPT-4o Audio Preview, GPT-4o Real-Time Preview, and GPT-4o Mini Real-Time Preview. While this is confusing, it is nothing compared to the absolute garbage can of naming we got afterwards. O1 and O1 Mini are the first models to completely ditch the GPT name. It is therefore impossible to tell by its name that they are based on GPT-4. And lastly, the latest models as of this video is O3 and its cousin O3 Mini. By the way, you may ask yourself, what happened to O2? And hear me out guys, I have a theory. Is this a model we are not supposed to know about? Did O2 run away and start a new life under a different name? Maybe it's hanging out with iPhone 2, the long lost sibling that Apple straight up skipped. Okay, so I promised you that we were going to rename the models. Let's first get an overview of what we have here. First, we have all of the base models like GPT-3 and 4 and so on. And then we have either post-training or other forms of manipulation of the base models on top of that, which gives us O1, O3 and so on. To figure out how to name these, let's get some inspiration from Apple, since they are known for having great naming. The closest thing that I have found to OpenAI's models are iPads, since there are so many different models and configurations. If we take a look at the current generation of iPad, we can notice that they have a Pro and an Air line, and they are each separated with which chip they have. So let's try and do something similar. Okay, let's start with the base models. This part is actually simple. We have GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, and then... wait. Why is it called GPT-4o? This model isn't just an upgrade, it's a completely new model. It can see images, understand video, process sounds. So why on earth is it still labeled as GPT-4? That's right, the simplest fix. Just call it GPT-5. Done. We've already cleaned up the first part of this mess. Okay, so now we have GPT-1 to GPT-5. But what do we do with these O models? Because let's be honest, nobody understands what the hell O stands for. The solution? Instead of slapping on random letters, let's just treat these as flavors of the base models. So for example, we have GPT-5 with O1 and GPT-5 with O3. This way, if OpenAI makes it possible to use O1 reasoning with the older model, it simply becomes GPT-4 with O1. Makes sense, right? But we still have a problem, because what does O even mean? Instead of using some mysterious O branding, just describe the feature. Like GPT-5 with reasoning, because people call it the reasoning model anyway. See, now people actually know what they're getting. And finally, what about the mini versions? Actually, I do think that mini makes sense. It tells you exactly what it is, a smaller, cheaper version, so no complaints there. It's easy, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Boom, fixed it. OpenAI, you are welcome. And if you're hiring a new naming guy, please let me know. So what do you think? Is it actually better, or should OpenAI just keep making it up as they go? By the way, please, it means a lot to me if you subscribe and like and leave a comment. I only have 10 subscribers as of this video, so it would mean a lot to me to get more. Thanks, bye.